Don't do any of these 129 things if you want your R129 looking and operating at its best. In this video, I'll cover the first 20 don'ts. Many of these will surprise you. So in no particular order, let's run through these first 20 don'ts of the R129 SL. Number 1, do not open or close your convertible roof when the temperature is below 10 degrees Celsius or 50 degrees Fahrenheit. This will certainly lead to your plastic windows prematurely failing by cracking and bending. Number 2 is still related to the convertible top. If there is moderate to strong winds, do not open or close your roof. Doing so may bend the inner metal rods of your roof and may cause it to not close properly. So if there's wind, don't open or close the roof unless absolutely necessary, like if there's a rainstorm coming. Number 3, do not ever boost your car. This will likely fry your convertible roof module, and that's not cheap. Number 4, if you store the car for periods greater than 6 months, don't forget to use a fuel stabilizer. And don't forget to keep the gas tank at full capacity. The fuel stabilizer will ensure the gas doesn't gum up and lead to costly repairs such as a fuel distributor. Keeping the gas at full capacity ensures moisture is kept minimal in the gas tank, which means less condensation in the tank, and so rust can't build there. Number 5, don't forget to use your air conditioner at least once a month during the warm months. Using the AC ensures the AC seals remain well sealed, because when you turn your AC on, the refrigerant, which includes many additives, moves around all the air conditioning piping and helps recondition and keeps those seals newer. AC seals that fail are costly, so you want to avoid this. Number 6, don't leave your car sitting around for months without proper storage steps. A car sitting around too much can lead to problems. Some of these are fuel related. Some of these can be rust related in the inner components of the engine. And some of these can be seals related. A big reason for head gasket failures are engines that haven't been run for a long time, where the engine seals shrink during periods of no use. So drive these babies at any opportunity you can. Number 7, don't neglect your door stop. These are making an incredibly loud, painful noise. This means that it's time to replace them. If neglected for too long, you may not be able to close your door. Yes, you heard me right. You won't be able to close your door, and nobody wants that. Imagine that. Number 8, still on the door. Do not open your door like this. Doing so will put pressure on these door pocket hinges and likely cause them to break. And to fix them, you'll need to remove the full door panel. Hinges are available, but the fix is very tedious. There's up to 20 screws holding these hinges together. And if you keep opening the door like this, guaranteed you're going to break them. So don't do it. Use the handle to open the door. Push it. That's what it's meant to be, not this. Number 9, don't top off your coolant with a different color than what's already in there. Coolants are different colors for a reason, and if you are mixing different colors, you can cause catastrophic damage to your car. If you need to top off your coolant, and this applies to all cars, make sure you top it off with the same color. Now in this case, these Mercedes, the R129, the coolant of choice is the Mercedes blue coolant. So here's the Mercedes approved blue. More like a teal blue. If in an emergency, something like this will work. It's green, but it says it's safe for all makes and vehicles. I wouldn't keep this in there for too long, but as an emergency, you can do it. Number 10, if replacing your original stereo, don't allow your stereo installer to go crazy on the plugs and connectors at the back of the stereo by cutting a bunch of them. Try to use proper adapters so if you ever want to go back to the original, you can easily do so. Number 11, Don't use resistor spark plugs for early model years. This applies to the 300, the 500, the 600, the 320 as well. These plugs usually have an R in their model number, R meaning resistor. For example, for this car, you don't use a Bosch FR8DC, you use the one without the R. Using resistor spark plugs will cause performance issues and could fry some of your ignition equipment. Many mechanics who aren't familiar with the R129 don't know this. So be careful and say, don't use resistor plugs. Number 12, don't keep your hard top on the car for prolonged periods, as the soft top can get permanent crease marks in the plastic if the soft top is kept in the hatch for too long. You can imagine that. This all kind of gets crumpled in there when the hard top is on. Number 13, do not be afraid to use your soft top back and forth, convertible to non-convertible. Using it forces the cycling of the hydraulic fluid and helps lubricate the hydraulic seals. Using it can actually prolong the roof. Try using it at least once a month, weather and cold temperature permitting. Number 14, don't use those Mercedes hooks to remove your instrument cluster. Doing so will likely cause this plexiglass shield to crack, especially if the cluster hasn't ever been removed. So go from behind the cluster to remove it. Number 15, don't buy cheap made in China parts. These parts will cost you more in the long run. Sometimes buying something like a bezel that is made in China is okay, or a side lamp. But certainly stay away from made in China sensors like crankshaft, camshaft, oxygen sensor, etc., etc. Hopefully you get my point. Number 16, don't be sloppy when getting into your car. Rubbing your butt against this leather here is a surefire way to prematurely wear out the leather here. So don't do this. This is not how you get in the car. Not how you do it. This is how you do it. No. Yes. Number 17, don't let the sun into the interior for prolonged periods. Sun is damaging to leather, to vinyl, the wood, the dash, all these little plastic pieces. Use a sun visor as much as you can. And if you do leave the car roof down, use an extra visor to cover the seats. I get it. These visors aren't cool and are nerdy, but cracked leather seats are even less cool. Number 18, if you see cracks in these rubber mounts, don't leave them there any longer. Now there aren't any cracks in this one. This is a relatively new one. If you see the cracks, it's time to replace them with new rubber mounts. If you don't, there's a chance that they may separate from this piece and come crashing into your hood. Now it's not the end of the world. It certainly isn't catastrophic, but it's a costly auto body repair. Number 19, when exiting the car, don't lean heavily on this back part of the seat. Doing it over and over again will likely break the plastic pieces holding this front piece and the back piece together. It's not a big deal to fix, but it's a hassle. So when getting out of the car, try to maybe use different parts. And when the convertible when it's in the convertible mode, you could use this part, or just try to use your leg muscles. Number 20, don't go visiting a mechanic for every problem with your SL. Check out the Handy Val Mercedes playlist. Most often than not, I have a fix video for your problem. On the screen, you'll see my Mercedes playlist that has dozens upon dozens of fixes, including many of those described in this video. Thanks for watching, and until next time, bye for now. Handy Val.